What's going on, everyone? In this video we'll be covering the SAT math section. I'll be actually doing the SAT math section live in front of you guys and show you all the tips and tricks that I use when I approach these questions. So just follow along and let's do it together. So starting off, we have number 1, 5x plus 6 equals 10. Alright, so also by the way I got an iPad, so this is about to be so much easier. But basically, when I look at this, the first thing I'm going to do is just solve for x, because I don't really see a trick in this, and this is a pretty simple, straightforward problem, right? So 10 minus 6 is 4, 5x equals 4, so x equals 4/5, right? That's pretty, again, given, like this is not hard. So plug in 4/5 to 10x plus 3. Now I would do this mentally, guys, but I'm writing this out just so you guys can see my thought process. But you should be able to do this problem mentally, alright? So yeah, mental. You might want to mark these problems as well, so that way when you go back, if you aren't able to do these problems mentally, that means you're not where you're supposed to be at this point, right? Because you want to be able to reach that point. So, all right, so you plug in 4/5 to 10, x plus 3, so that's 40 over 5 plus 3, which is equal to 11. This becomes 8, right? 8 plus 3 is 11, so C. Which of the following satisfies such an equation above? All right, so what you can do is scale the equations so one of the coefficients match. So I'll get 2x plus 2y equals 0. So multiply the entire thing by 2. Okay, 3x minus 2y equals 10. Now why did I multiply by 2? So that way the coefficients match. You add them together, these cancel, you get 5x equals 10, so x equals 2. So at this point, I want you guys to stop and think, alright, so of these answer choices right here, which of them has x equals 2? Not A, B does, not C, not D. So you already eliminated 3 answer choices. So as a result, your answer is B, and you're done. You move on. A big trick I want you guys to understand is to eliminate 3. Okay, I teach this in my course as well. It's one of the best tricks you can use. So eliminate 3 answer choices. You don't always have to try to find the correct answer, because if you do that, what you would end up doing is you plug in x equals 2 to, let's say, this one, and you get y equals -2. And then you're like, okay, so the answer has to be B. Well, that's an extra step. Isn't it easier just to eliminate what you can as you go? Right? And this problem is pretty easy to find, what y equals, but what if the problem was different, right? And it had like 10x here and then 3y here, it would be a little harder to find y, and every second matters, which is why I want you guys to honestly practice this eliminate 3 trick. Okay, landscaping company estimates the price of a job in dollars using expression 60 plus 12NH, where n is the number of landscapers. Usually with these long problems, I just read the last sentence first. Which of the following best interpretation of number 12 in the expression? Okay, that was horrible underlining. But number 12 in the expression. Alright, so I already know this is mx plus b form, right? I mean, it's a little bit different because now there's 2 variables. It's like n is x1, then h is x2, so it's like 2 different x's, but the overall form is mx plus b. So 60 is a y-intercept, right? And it says h is the total number of hours the job would take using n landscapers. So I know x is really equal to nh, right? So and 12 is a slope in a way, right? So we know that somehow the price of the job as well as the number of landscapers has to be connected. So which answer choice describes that? Is it C, the price of every job increases by $12 every hour? No, because that's not what the problem is saying, right? And that if the problem was just 12h, then that would be correct. But in this case, the number of landscapers also matters. So it's not C, it's not D, it's not B. Minimum, maximum, usually y-intercepts. The company charges $12 per hour for each landscaper. That's the answer, right? That includes the cost as well as the number of landscapers. So they're both included in that case, which is what matters. All right, number 4. All right, so number 4. Okay, so you guys don't know how to do FOIL. FOIL, first, outer, inner, last. I do teach this in my course. Again, you should already know this, but if you don't, just go check out my course, link in the description below. But basically, if I were to expand this, right, the 3a squared with this, the 3a squared will become 9a quad, right, which matches this. Now I'm going to do that to every single one. I'm not going to fully expand it, just going to expand that first term. 3a to the 4 is not 9a4, right? 3a to the 4th does not equal 9a quad, because 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is already like, what, 81? So that can't be it. 9a squared 9a squared squared. This does not equal that, right? So that's gone. 9a quad definitely does not equal this, so that's gone. Boom, A is the answer. And that's where that trick, the eliminate 3 trick, comes and helps, right? Again, sometimes all you have to do is eliminate 3 answer choices instead of selecting the correct one. 5. Of k is greater than 7, x equals 7, the equation above, what is the value of k? This one, you're just gonna plug it all in. So you have 2k squared plus 17, so you add 7 to both sides and then square it, equals 49. Subtract 17 is 32, divided by 2 is 16. You see how I'm like skipping steps because I can do this mentally? You guys should try to do the same thing. Remember, no one sees your work. Alright, you're not getting points for showing your work. You can literally guess on everything, and let's say you guess correctly, you literally get 100%. So stop worrying about showing your work. Line L is parallel to K. What is the value of P? Alright guys. So one thing that people have realized is that figures on the SAT actually are drawn to scale. So this is 2, right? So this is double. This is 4 away. Okay? This is 5. So double would be 10 away. So the answer is D. And if you were actually to get a ruler, okay, you actually use a ruler, and let's say this was like from here to here, like the actual length was what? It looks like, say 10 centimeters, right? This will actually be 20 centimeters away. If you were to like generally measure this with a ruler, this might actually be like 5 centimeters, and this would be 10 centimeters. The figures are drawn exactly to scale. So you can use this to your advantage, right? If I were to, let's say I had like 2-3 seconds left to answer this problem, I'll say, okay, this is 5. This P is definitely greater than like 5 units away, right? This distance right here is 5. So this has to be greater than 5. So it can't be A, can't be B, it's C or D. Now I have to guess between C or D because they're both greater than 5. And I would pick the higher one, so I pick D. But that's if you had to go really fast. But otherwise, you can just recognize this is double, this is double, this is double, this is double. Number 7, you gotta know your exponent rules. When you divide exponents to the same base, you subtract the exponents. So this is equal to xa squared minus b squared equal to x to 16. All right. Again, FOIL. If you don't know how to FOIL, check out my course. And if you guys want to know other ST math tricks, tips, strategies, problems, all that, cover all that in my course, use code FIRST100 for 25% off. So check the link in the description below for that. Equal to 16. A plus B is equal to 2. Divide both sides by 2. You get A minus B equals A. Done. The measure A in degrees. Alright, again, I'm going to skip to the end of this, right? But why would we want to read all this extra information? What is the greatest number of sides it can have? Alright, now we want to see, alright, what does each represent? A is degrees. Alright, it's 50 degrees. So A equals 50. Right? We're trying to find what N can be when A is 50. So N is equal to 360 divided by 50, which is equal to 7.2. So the greatest number of sides it can have. Alright, so greatest, you might, alright, so you know it's not A or B, so you might be like, is it C or D? Well, 8 is greater than 7, so I'll just pick 8. The greatest size can have is 7.2. Alright, you can't go over this number. So whatever the answer is, has to be less than 7.2. So which of these choices is less than 7.2 and the greatest one out of them? 7. So you got your answer. Number 9, this is the last 4 problems we're going to do, and then part 2 will come out very shortly. Number 9, the graph of second line passed through points 1, 2, and 2 ones. 2 lines intersect the point AB was the value of A plus B. This problem right here, there's actually no trick. Like, I have yet to discover a trick for this problem. If you guys do know a trick for this problem, be sure to comment in the comment section below, because I don't know how to do this unless I do the regular way, which is to do y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. X minus x1. Okay, so a slope 2 contains a point 1,8, so that's y minus 8 is equal to 2x minus 1. So y is equal to 2x. This becomes negative 2, add 8 plus 6. Okay, so y equals 2x plus 6, that's the slope of one line. That's the equation for one line. The second line goes through 1, 2, and 2, 1. So we can use this formula to find the slope. So we can do 1 minus 2 over, so y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 equals m. So 1 minus 2 over 2 minus 1 equals m, which is equal to negative 1, yeah. Okay, and now we use the y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1 to find the equation of the line. So we'll use this point, this one right here. Y minus 2 is equal to negative x minus 1. So y is equal to negative x plus 1 plus 3. Now you want to find the intersection, right? So negative x plus 3 is equal to 2x plus 6. Add x both sides, subtract, so you get negative 3 is equal to 3x. So x equals negative 1. Okay? Then you plug negative 1 back into, let's say this one right here. So we get positive 4, right? So the solution, so the coordinate is negative 1, 4. If you add them together for a plus b, you get 3. Yeah, a lot of steps, but that's the easiest way to do this problem. Yes, a lot of steps though. Which of the following equation has a graph in the xy plane for which y is always greater than or equal to negative 1? For this problem, I'll just plug in 0 or 1. Start off with 0 first. So the value, no matter what x, has to be greater than or equal to negative 1, right? So if I plug in a 0, the result for the answer choice will have a value greater than or equal to negative 1. So if I put 0 in here, I get negative 2, so that's wrong. Put 0 in here, I get negative 2, that's wrong. I put a 0 here, I get 4, which works, doesn't mean it's right, because we still have to check D. Plug in 0 to here, I get negative 2. So that's wrong as well. So answer is C. Again, eliminate 3 instead of trying to find the correct answer all the time. Alright, now we're gonna do number 11. The common mistake when you get these problems is doing this. You just like take apart like the fraction. You can't do that. You have to multiply by the conjugate, right? So you have to multiply the numerator and denominator by 8 minus 2i. That's the opposite of 8 plus 2i. So you get 64 minus 4i squared, right? Which is I squared is negative 1, so 68 is the denominator, right? Now what you have to do is you have to do 3 minus 5i times 8 minus 2i, right? So that's 24 minus 40i minus 6i. Sometimes you gotta really work it out in your brain. Minus 10, because it's positive 10i squared and I squared is negative 1, so negative 10. So this would become 14 minus 46i over 68. You already know that since the middle operations it's minus, between the answer choices only C has minus, so C is the answer. Again, super simple guys, if you just eliminate choices as you go. You don't have to finish the problem. If you were to finish it, you just reduce everything by 2, then you get 7 minus 23i divided by 34, which is the same thing as this. So you just saved an extra step, and this is probably what took me 3 seconds to write out. That's 3 seconds that can go to this problem right here. So, gotta be smart with your time. This one, don't even read the description. Alright guys, I don't want you guys to read this. You should already know by looking at the answer choices and the problem that this is an equation manipulation. You just gotta manipulate the equation and make it in terms of F equals. So we'll do that real quick. So Rn, this is one of the easiest problems you guys can get on SAT. You want to keep the whatever term you're trying to isolate on the same side. So we will do Rn is equal to F minus Rf. That way we can factor it out. So you get F1 minus R is equal to Rn. And divide both sides with 1 minus R, you get B. And now, I know I said those 4 will be the last ones, but we will do 13 just because of my favorite problem ever on the SAT. This problem will take you probably 2 minutes, but I can do it in 3 seconds. Negative b over a is the sum of all values of a quadratic. Okay? So negative b over a is what in this case? 16 over 2, which equals 8. Done. And that is SAT math walkthrough, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will have part 2 coming out shortly. So thank you all for watching. Leave a comment. Be sure to check out my course. It will literally get you 800. Peace.